I love nature. I've always gone camping with all my friends, kayaking and all those things. I've always loved nature my whole life, you know.
Lee Tempest injured his spinal cord in a car crash 27 years ago.
My parents were very nature-oriented, going to national parks and things like that. And the bike has given that to me. I can go out on the trails. I can go be a part of nature and fly through it on a hand cycle, which makes it even more exciting. But there's also been the challenge to it, you know, the personal challenge. It's something new to me, and I want to climb that hill. You know, that's my favorite part. Sometimes the speed of going downhill is like, this is cool. I've done it a few times, but I want to find the biggest hill I can and try to climb up it. You know, no matter how long it takes me.
Just like many athletes, Lee relishes a challenge, pushing himself to become stronger and more fit. But for people with spinal cord injury like Lee, exercise is more than fun, more than a challenge. Exercise is medicine.
After spinal cord injury, you have increased risk for multiple medical problems. Obesity, cardiovascular disease, increased risk for diabetes. And so exercise is extremely important after spinal cord injury.
Dr. Amanda Harrington is the medical director of the University of Pittsburgh Model Center on Spinal Cord Injury.
Exercise is also beneficial because it helps to get people back to life. It helps them engage in social interactions, whether they're exercising individually at the gym or in a group setting.
These are messages that Lee and his friend Katie Smith take to heart.
I'd like to work on maybe some trunk balance.
Okay.
I really love to be physically engaged. I love to engage my body just going for a walk outside. I also hand cycle, and I've participated in 3 Pittsburgh marathons, and I've participated in a swim race or 2. I really will try anything.
Katie's injury happened in a car crash in 2007.
I nodded off just for a second, and I picked my head back up, and I was veering into the other lane. And I just overcompensated going back. I panicked, and I was off the road, and my car was upside down and turning over.
Katie was paralyzed instantly. She had a long, hard road to recovery.
And I remember laying in bed and fighting to breathe and being scared of what was happening next, not even thinking about tomorrow, but thinking about the next breath. And that is very terrifying. But there's a point where you get past that fight and you become stable. 15.
That's all right. You're just being an overachiever.
I am.
Doing 16 instead of 15.
Katie started working toward the life she wanted. She knew exercise needed to be a part of it.
If you gain weight in a wheelchair, it's really hard to lose it. And if you gain weight, it's even harder to do your transfers. It's harder to do turns in bed. And then you become at risk for skin breakdown. Skin breakdown leads to infections. Infections lead to hospital visits and surgeries.
Like this, it perfectly makes for accessibility even better.
When you have a spinal cord injury, exercise is more important than it used to be. And it's also harder than it used to be. Just getting out of the house can take hours.
Someone with a spinal cord injury has to spend a lot more time getting dressed, taking care of their bowels and bladder. Just living daily life takes more time. So that in itself is a barrier.
Lee experienced a lot of frustration and sadness coming to terms with his new life.
Bring this around.
It took a while to get out of that dark place. As time goes on, pushing on and finding small goals, you know, just getting in and out of my car, going to the grocery store.
Lee felt that having a series of small successes to look back on over time gave him the confidence to try more. Now Lee is a multi-sport athlete, and he works as a study coordinator at the University of Pittsburgh Model Center on Spinal Cord Injury.
I've learned a lot from of you guys, just how you do things differently and how you accept things differently. Maybe not you.
Lee leads the peer support group here. The peer support of wheelchair basketball teammates was critical in his own recovery.
When I first saw wheelchair basketball, I was blown away by them. I was blown away by them. You know, I saw them having careers and families and going places. Having a disability or using a wheelchair, it doesn't slow them down one bit. They can still go and do everything they want.
I think one of the most important things that we do here and that is done across the country is that we have peer supports as part of what we do.
Dr. Michael Boninger is co-director of the University of Pittsburgh Model Center on Spinal Cord Injury, which is one of 14 spinal cord injury model system centers funded by the National Institute on Disability, Independent Living, and Rehabilitation Research. These model system centers conduct research and provide innovative treatments for people with spinal cord injury.
We're going to introduce you to exercise in the hospital. We're going to have you meet a peer who's going to tell you what it's like to ride a bicycle on a trail. And then we're going to bring you back into the hospital or have the peer call you or follow up in some way so that you hear about exercise repeatedly.
Even if it's not accessible, do you find like
The peer support group is a chance to share what works with exercise and what doesn't, and sometimes what you'd like to try.
Back there, so stretching and lifting my weights definitely makes me feel better. And if I go a whole week without stretching or lifting my weights, then I feel it and it feels terrible. So
I got my new ID card back to go back to the gym where I was going before my accident here, and I want to go swimming, and we'll see how that works.
Okay.
One of the biggest barriers to exercise for people with spinal cord injury is the inaccessibility of places to exercise.
Like none of the machines are accessible, like how some YMCAs have, like you can like remove the seat or like push it out of the way to park your chair there. Like everything is just strictly like mounted to the machine, so it's like you either have to transfer or just don't use that machine at all.
I mean, half the workout at a fitness facility that's not accessible is getting to the equipment. I mean, that's half your workout right there.
Yeah.
Getting in the door.
Right, for sure. Getting out of your car, into the equipment, and then you might be able to work out.
Hey, girl. Quad class.
For people not into the gym or sports, there are things like yoga or wheelchair dancing.
Nice job, thank you.
I would love to do like a swing class because I can swing around. That's primarily my wedding dance moves.
Amanda Dukes was injured in a shooting. She uses a power wheelchair because of an injury to her arm, and she's in the last days of her inpatient rehabilitation.
When I get up, it's sometimes really hard. I'm learning how to get dressed and I'm rolling all over the place. I'm like a pretzel. My arms hurt. I can't lift my legs. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. But I do it and then I feel better. Maybe I got my socks on today, where the day before I couldn't do it because I couldn't reach them.
Depending on the type of injury someone has, better fitness and strength can lead to more independence.
If I didn't exercise, I would need so much more help. I don't want to have somebody to push me and slide me. I want to be able to do it myself. So it's important to strengthen, my muscles that I have left and be able to do it by myself without any help.
The more physically fit you are, the more able you are to do activities because you have more energy. So exercise and cardiovascular health, we know it helps to improve energy, it helps to improve overall physical well-being, there's positive psychological benefits, and so those that are doing more exercise have a greater chance of being more independent and more engaged in society.
Go ahead and get started.
Amanda is working with physical therapist Dr. Lynn Warraby, who is co-director of the University of Pittsburgh Model Center on Spinal Cord Injury.
How long have you been doing this for when you do it in therapy?
I've bumped up from 5 to 7 minutes a couple of days ago. So.
She's helping Amanda develop an exercise program that she can continue when she goes home, including cardiovascular exercise, strengthening, and stretching.
Stretching is another really important component of exercise. So it allows people to be flexible. So things like dressing can be possible. If you aren't able to reach your feet and reach down and do that, then you're not going to be as independent. Good. And go ahead and let those arms relax down to the side. Are you feeling a good stretch up in the chest? Yeah.
So, how hard should people push themselves when exercising?
Usually want to shoot for a moderate intensity. So if you're doing cardiovascular, I like to think of the breath test sometimes. So if you're doing an activity, if you can talk but you're a little winded, that's okay. If you're able to sing, you're probably not working hard enough to be at the level that you want.
My heart.
It's working.
Yeah, because it's more resistance than I normally.
Amanda has her sights set on sports.
I didn't really do a lot before. I love to ski, and I like tubing. Those were the only two things that I really did before. But now I want to ski. I want to continue to be able to ski. I want to do the hand cycles, canoeing, all of those different sports that they have available. I never realized that all of that was out there for somebody like me.
As Amanda works towards skiing, she'll need to consider some risks specific to spinal cord injury. Low blood pressure, skin protection, heart rate, and body temperature regulation are all things to discuss with your doctor before exercising.
Make sure that you're not working the same muscles every day. You kind of vary it up from day to day.
For people with less mobility, exercise is still important.
Individuals with a higher level of injury have less muscle function, but it doesn't mean that they can't be exercising. So working the muscles in your arms or hands or shoulders that you have function of. Breathing is something that you can work on to strengthen. So your diaphragm and muscles in your ribs are also muscles that can be strengthened. So improving your inspiratory capacity and working those muscles can also make it easier to talk, communicate, breathe.
Another good reason to make an effort to exercise is to ward off depression. People with spinal cord injury experience depression at a rate of about 4 times that of the general population.
So we know that one of the ways to beat depression is to exercise. Not only does it help from a depression perspective, but it can also help put someone kind of back in the real world, which is a really important part of recovery and of staying healthy with a spinal cord injury.
We'll go that way.
Lee plays basketball with a team called the Pittsburgh Steel Wheelers. They travel around the region and farther to compete.
To be a part of the Pittsburgh Steel Wheelers has been a passion for me.
I see Kirk here. Rob. I got Rob. Oh.
Good
Shots
passing,
up.
good passing, good shot, Kirk.
It's not always just the game. It's a lot about just enjoying people that understand where you're at. You know, understand where you've been, where you want to go.
That's a ball your side. This way. Good seal. Nice shot, Z.
Parents would always say to me, like, you're the best when basketball season is in because you're really focused on everything there. You're focused not only on your nutrition and you know, taking care of yourself, but you're also just you roll around with your shoulders a little higher, a little stronger. You feel more confident. You go away for a weekend with them and you come back and you're a different person.
Zadorian Lane was injured when he was 7 years old. He's 19 now.
No doubt.
Playing wheelchair basketball with the Steel Wheelers, it was my very first time playing for an official team. It was quite amazing. I never thought there was such a thing that was like this amazing for people that were physically disabled.
For Katie and others who have limited use of their hands and arms, there's quad rugby. Quad is short for quadriplegia, which means a person has lost some mobility in all 4 limbs.
It's really invigorating. The first time I went to a practice, they put me into one of the rugby chairs and someone hit me and I was in love and I was just ready to come back. That contact is just incredible. And that being on a team and being a part of a sport and a strategy with other people and moving around, you forget the barriers fall away and you just become a part of something, and It's invigorating to be out there, just moving around, and then if you do it well, that's even better. Love that rattle.
One thing that can get in the way of trying some of these sports is money. To play basketball and quad rugby, to go hand cycling or skiing or kayaking, you'll need specialized equipment, and that is expensive.
It's nice when you can find used equipment or get involved with an organization or like the Steel Wheelers. I played in someone else's old chair for about 6 years until I was able to afford my own because my grant didn't even cover the whole chair.
Even once you've overcome barriers like cost and accessibility, there's still inertia and the other factors that keep 80% of all Americans from getting the recommended amount of exercise.
There are days that I don't feel like going to exercise, and I say that as a peer now. I go, it's okay, we all have that. Don't think because you have a disability now you can't have a down day. You know, we don't have to bring in a psychologist because you don't feel like doing anything today and you're just, you know, you just want to feel sorry for yourself for a day. That's okay, just don't let that linger on. Don't let that turn into 2 days to 4 days to 8 days. You know, you have to try to pick yourself back up. And you know, when Monday comes, you're going to take on this week and try to make it a little bit better than last week.
Sometimes it's not so easy, you know, to stay motivated. Some days I do feel like I don't want to do it. I feel sad or angry or whatever. But I have told myself that I have to move forward. And I think I've made awesome progress because when I got here, I couldn't even put my pants on. So now I can. Almost. But I'm getting there.
People like Amanda, Katie, and Lee have a drive to live life to the fullest, and they know that exercise can help them do that.
It's a great feeling to be in nature and achieve things like that. It's almost like the people who want to go climb Mount Everest. You know, I want to climb Mount Everest in a hand cycle.
Spinal cord injury model system centers provide coordinated and multidisciplinary care and conduct research to improve care and outcomes for people with spinal cord injury. This video is a product of the Model Systems Knowledge Translation Center in collaboration with the University of Pittsburgh Model Center on Spinal Cord Injury, funded by the National Institute on Disability, Independent Living, and Rehabilitation Research. To learn more about the work of the Spinal Cord Injury Model System Centers, please visit msktc.org.